Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Pigboy25 here, and today I am back from what is probably a 3-week hiatus at this point. I haven't had much to talk about, but this topic right here that is in the center of my screen very much interests me. This is a park that I have been to several times. It's a park that we all know and is well respected in the industry. It's one of the big 5 parks and one of the juggernauts of Cedar Fair. It's Kings Island. I'm sure I'm a little late to this rumor, but it's swirling, and the park officially today confirmed that one of their 16 roller coasters, 16 meaning they also count Surf Dog, their Zamperla pipeline disco thing, it will be removed at the end of the Halloween season on October 28th of this year. There will still be, of course, the park will still be open for Winterfest, but Kings Island will be ceasing operation of this coaster that I will be talking about which one I think it is today and why on October 28th, 2018 will be its last day of operation. It says right here it will be one of the ill-fated demise of one of our 16 roller coasters. So, we know it's a coaster. That debunks a couple popular rumors right off the bat. I got a Google Maps tab right up here. There were some, going to look at this area of the park, this is actually the area I'm more paying attention to. Also a little bit over this way. Don't mind Son of Beast still being there. Google Maps is awful on desktop. It updates a lot quicker on mobile. There's a lot of rumors swirling to which thing it can be ever since the official sign that was in their tweet was caught at the park. This sign, oops, let me just pause that real quick. The sign that we had earlier, that one, has been spotted at the park. So, yeah. I've never been to the site myself, as I don't get to make it to Kings Island very often, and I haven't gone at all in 2018, but this rumor could directly affect what would happen in 2019 and 2020, especially 2020. From the rumors, or not the rumors, but from leaks and documents from the Kingsmill or Mason County Town Hall, that Kings Island is working with various construction companies over the next 3 seasons, 2018, 2019, and 2020, for various infrastructure improvements, various repairs, or various things. They're also working with the makers of the antique auto cars, but then the very last manufacturer listed on that lengthy list of local and international companies is the last company listed on those is B&M. Good old Baller and Abelard themselves. So, a B&M is essentially all but confirmed to come to the park in 2020, since 2019 is their Kingsmill Antique Autos Edition, which in Google Maps, I would say, since it runs right along Racer, it would go maybe here. I think they're going to be using these buildings. It could go either just about, no, that's a midway. It's probably going to go just about here, towards the entrance to Dinosaurs Alive once used to be. It's going to go right about there. This looks about right. Like right about there. This here, right here, boom. But that's besides the point. We also know they tore out Dinosaurs Alive at the end of 2017 season, and many Cedar Fair parks are currently following the trend. King's Dominion, Canada's Wonderland, Carowinds, and Dorney Park, and maybe even one more, are all nixing their Dinosaurs Alive since their 6-year contract expired at the end of the 2018 season. So all of this land is owned and already developed by the company and will likely be used for the 2020 attraction. There are some other rumors that suggest otherwise. We know that a coaster is going to get axed, and the current frontrunners are all in different corners of the park. The current frontrunners, there are 4 of them at the moment, for which ones are going to be removed. Starting with the least probable, in my opinion, I think the least probable is in Vertigo. Yeah, that has a bit of land here, but that's not going to be nowhere. That's going to be nowhere near what it should be. And Vertigo is here to stay, guys. I am 100% wholeheartedly doubting the rumors that Vertigo is going away. I mean, Bat is staying as well. Bat has it has land to expand in the back there, and they can take those trees out. But they already have all this land over here. If Banshee could take up pretty much all of this land and beyond, how much do you think this new B&M will take up? And then there's another rumor saying that I think the third most likely would be Adventure Express. I think that it does have a good chunk of land going in and around the thing here. It does look to be a bit odd compared to the continuities of the area they're developing, because I think the permits that was filed to Mason County was only for about one area of the park, which the GPS pinged right about the area of Dinosaurs Alive. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what I read somewhere, that it might have been for one specific area rather than just the park as a whole, since it's going to be a 3-year development project leading up to the B&M opening in 2020. I think Adventure Express is here to stay. I also do remember it being actually one of the longer lines while I was there. Granted, I rode it late in the day and it was only running 2 trains, but Adventure Express is still popular amongst families, and I think it's here to stay for a while longer. The 2 leading rumors, though, this is where coaster enthusiasts start butting heads. Originally, when the Tombstone was saw, they thought the air was eerily calm, something big is leaving. Literally big, literally takes you in the air. They thought Windseeker was going. While it held water for about 5 minutes. And now Kings Island said, and it's going to be a roller coaster. So, what are the 2 coasters that are heavily contested for being the removal candidate? Vortex and Firehawk. Those are the 2 coasters that are most likely to be removed based off of Kings Island analysis. I do think that it very well could be either one of them, but one, in my opinion, makes more sense than the other. Let's talk about the one that I think it's not going to be first. Vortex. I think Vortex is safe. They did also, in the past 5 years, work on infrastructure improvements, harvest parts from other arrows, or get replacement parts from Vekoma before they were bought out by SNS Sansei, where I don't know if SNS Sansei will still enable them to fix up old arrows or old Vekoma loopers. Though, since Vekoma is transitioning into a modern period, look at Lech Coaster for their prime example. But I think Vortex, because of its improvements, as well as the general unfittingness of the land of what you've seen. Yeah, there's a lot of land going in and around Beast in this shape. You could technically hook the whole thing back around the side of the park, minus this here. I think this is used for like a haunt, because that's why it's clear. I think they use a haunt there. But I think that Vortex, it definitely will go down the road, probably the next 5-10 years, but it will not be for this season. I think that Vortex is still popular amongst fans, despite it being a walk-on most weekdays. It does have high capacity, so that's why the lines can go through quickly. And Vortex it's a vintage coaster. I feel like it's the one coaster, since Beast and Racer already have Ace Coaster landmarks, Vortex is probably would end up being the 3rd coaster in the near future to get an Ace Coaster landmark. And also, if they took it out of their lineup, they would lack a quintessential part being a thrilling, family-friendly looper. Yeah, they have Banshee as another looping coaster, but it's an inverted one. But other than that, they really don't have a lot of steel megalith loopers, other than Banshee and Vortex. And now I'm going to move over to Firehawk, to why I think it is going to bite the dust. Yes, I firmly believe Firehawk will be leaving come at the end of the 2018 season. Here are my reasons why. 1, Firehawk is an old Vekoma Dutchman. It has awful capacity, awful restraints. It often does hold a queue for all the wrong reasons. And from what I've heard, since the Flying Dutchman has not been made since like 2002 or 2001 even, there hasn't been one of these made in such a long time, and Vekoma's just bringing back the flying coaster with Fly at Phantasialand. I think Firehawk is definitely on the older side. It's struggling to find parts, and I think would definitely be a bit of an issue for the park in the long run. I also do think I have more reasons in terms of the continuities for later. This also makes more sense because of the proximity to the dinosaurs' alive plot of land. If this chunk right here is going to be towards the Antigados, it's like 2 acres or whatever, then all of this chunk back here, and then this chunk over here, this wooded area, Firehawk, maybe this guy back here if they want to use it, they can all be used for a B&M Giga. I do think we will be seeing a B&M Giga in 2020 because the land says so. And since 2019 is also looking to be a very shallow investment year in Cedar Fair's end. 2 dive coasters, a flat ride. I forget. I'm trying to remember which park got the flat ride. Like, they didn't even get anything for King's Dominion, Knott's Berry Farm, California's Great America. Like, what do they do? Worlds of Fun announced a restaurant. There's 2 roller coasters going to Canada's Wonderland and Carowinds. Cedar Point's adding in a new interactive thingamawop that I made a video about that's been heavily contradicted and criticized, but that's besides the point. And there's like a 5th park that added something. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was not King's Dominion hasn't gotten anything. King's Island, oh yeah, the antique autos that I mentioned earlier. My god, I'm dumb. But I think because of the continuity with the land, and because of their minor investment here, I think that since the antique autos are going here, you can use all of this land from Firehawk around to the service road, going over the service road into the remainder of the Dinosaurs Live plot of land. It is plenty of room for a B&M Giga. I would go compare Fury's land size or Leviathan's, but those are more or less confined. I think this one has the potential to be one of the biggest, longest, and fastest B&M Gigas yet. I think this thing could be absolutely monstrous, this B&M Giga, if they put it in. I am in the Giga wagon. I'm not saying it's 100% confirmed. But we know a B&M is essentially confirmed, but I'm not saying it's going to be a Giga. Who knows? It could be the world's largest flying coaster. Be just in honor of Firehawk. I also, according to shallow, maybe possibly flimsy reports from quote-unquote siblings or people in the loop of park employees have talked openly to some guests, according to a few sources that I'm not 100% bought by. There have been some cases of employees cracking under pressure saying Firehawk will be the unlucky victim of this removal. I think Firehawk's removal makes perfect sense when it comes to the continuity of the land that they're developing, when it comes to the fact that it's old. I mean, it was even relocated from Geauga Lake when that place was going bankrupt. This whole thing is probably going to end up as scrap. I don't think they're going to be relocating Firehawk unless they can get some serious tech support from Vekoma. But I think Firehawk, it's not going to be relocated. It's probably going to end up in the dumpster. It is scrap. I don't see much good coming out of it. But I will talk about how they can use this land to develop it. What Cedar Fair we know, or Kings Island we know, is going to be receiving likely a B&M, likely a B&M Giga, not likely, but very possibly a B&M Giga. I think Firehawk's land, the entirety of the land, can be very good for queue and for station and for even the lift hill. Like, you can have a station and you can have the queue box going out here. You can have the lift hill going out that way to arc it, drop it, or you can have the lift hill going out this way and this way. You know, all the queue over here, because it's going to be a massively popular attraction. And look how much queue they put in Mystic Timbers and Diamondback. They can use a good chunk of the layout as queue, and then they can have the whole lift hill here, brake run going over here, back into the station. I mean, I might be a little overestimating the amount of land they have to use. They might also be able to do some twisty bits here before coming back to the station using this plot up to the service road about there. And this entire middle and back portion of Dinosaurs Alive will be able to use for the actual ride itself. Some good twister portions of the ride. I could see it being very similar to Diamondback, which is actually on this map, which takes up an interesting amount of space as well. I mean, yeah, it does look to be more out and back than its brothers. It goes all the way back out there. So it's going to be a definitely more confined B&M, because it might be more twister-based than out and back based, because this is an absolutely massive plot of land that Diamondback sits on. I mean, based on the land itself, we could very well see it being something else other than a B&M Giga if the Hyper takes up that much land. But I think they can possibly squeeze a Giga in this entire large chunk of land. They can fit something here. They can even stretch out towards they can go to the service road, to the haunt, maybe over the haunt if they need to. Back by Beast. They have all of the land up to the river here, essentially. It's absurd how much land they have for Kings Island. I do think the Vortex opinion definitely could be valid. It definitely could be used for a one-on-one replacement with, say, a B&M wing coaster, a B&M dive coaster. But I think a wing coaster, I don't know, they're both by Cedar Point. I think really putting in a B&M Giga would be the ultimate move, considering if what you'd be able to fit on Vortex is a compact wing coaster like X-Flight, compact dive coaster like Valorvin, for lack of a better comparison. You might be able to squeeze a bit more, and you could arc your way back around Racer. It could very well be Vortex, but I'm feeling like it's more Firehawk, and saying the air is eerily calm, and Firehawk being a bird, essentially, another Cedar Fair hawk name. It could be a guess saying that it could be a clue to Firehawk being, Firehawk, the air is eerily calm, aviation puns. Because hawks are birds and they fly in the air. You get what I'm talking about, likely. Unless I'm just if I'm babbling nonsense, just tell me outright. I mean, I know I'm rusty. I haven't recorded in a good while, 2-3 weeks, and my last video was like my Six Flags reactions, which was very much. I already had developed my thoughts the entire day prior, or the entire school day before that prior. So I was ready to go on that one. But these are just my loosely constructed thoughts of what Kings Island will be doing in terms of their Rest in Peace 2019 coaster. We should be figuring out sometime next week. I'm going to pause that just in case it blares through. I haven't muted, but I don't want to get claimed for any reason whatsoever. It will be revealed later this week, so it might even be revealed by before the end of September. The end of September is on a Sunday. It could very well be revealed Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Because giving them a whole month's operating notice in order to ride the coaster for the last time would be perfectly fine. I am on the Firehawk bandwagon for it being removed, but I think that Vortex is a very viable choice and would make quite a bit of sense if it was removed, considering its less favorable reception than all of this, than Vortex or than Firehawk. So leave your feedback in the comments below. I want to hear what you think of this before this video ages poorly, and it'll probably just end up flopping because of that. I'm not always right on my predictions, but I have gotten a couple things dead on in the past, like that February 2016 video of Cedar Point's rider removal. What are they going to do? Yeah, I nailed that one, and you guys gave me so much hate since I was new at that point, if you're still longtime watchers back from then. That's more just throwing it out in the air if anyone's watching. Oh, goodness. That's memories. Either way, I don't want to get too tangential here. If you guys have enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscription, and please leave your thoughts in the comments below. This is one I definitely want to engage with my subscribers with. I want to be able to negotiate things and get my viewpoint adjusted, or get my viewpoint more in line by reading your guys' comments, whether or not I can agree, disagree, refute, or just outright ignore if it comes down to that. Your guys' not suggestions, but your guys' input on this topic. I know that Kings Island is definitely due for something big at 2020, and it's going to be a big year for them. I'm very excited to see where this park goes. And yeah, with that out of the way, I hope you guys have a great insert unit of time here.